I offer my respectful obeisances to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and to Srila Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj and to all the previous acharyas. May they empower us to hear and read this, or read and hear this next installment of the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, where we'll be reading from the Madhya Lila, chapter 24, explanations of the Atmarama verse. And we're taking up at text number 1. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who acted as the eastern horizon where the sun of the Atmarama verse rose. He manifested its rays in the form of different meanings and thus eradicated the darkness of the material world. May he protect the universe. All glories to Lord Chaitanya, all glories to Lord Nityananda, all glories to Advaita Chandra, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Thereafter, Sanatana Goswami clasped the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and humbly submitted the following petition. Sanatana Goswami said, "My Lord, I have heard that previously at the home of Sarvabhaumacharya, you explained the Atmarama verse in 18 different ways. Atmarama-śchamunayo nigranta apyurukrame kurvante haitu kim bhaktim itam bhuta guno hari." Those who are self-realized and unattracted by external material desires are also attracted to the loving service of Sri Krishna, whose qualities are transcendental and whose activities are wonderful. Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is called Krishna because he has such transcendentally attractive features. Bhagavatam 1.7.10. I have heard this wonderful story and am therefore very inquisitive to hear your explanation again. If you would kindly repeat it, I would be very pleased to hear. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, I am one madman and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is another. Therefore he took my words to be the truth. I do not recall what I spoke in that connection, but if something comes to my mind due to association with you, I shall explain it. Generally, by myself, I cannot give an explanation, but by the strength of your association, something may manifest itself. There are 11 clear words in this verse, but when they are studied separately, various meanings glitter from each word. Purport: the 11 separate words are 1. Atmarama, 2. Cha, 3. Munaya, 4. Nigranta, 5. Api, 6. Urukrame, 7. Kurvanti, 8. Ahaitu-kim, 9. Bhaktim, 10. Itam Bhuta Gana, and 11. Hari. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will explain the different connotations and imports of these words. The 7 different meanings of the word Atma are absolute truth, the body, the mind, endeavor, firmness, intelligence, and nature. The following are synonyms of the word Atma: the body, mind, absolute truth, natural characteristics, firmness, intelligence, and endeavor. This is a quotation from Vishwa Prakash Dictionary. The word Atmarama refers to one who enjoys these 7 items, the absolute truth, body, mind, and so on. Later, I shall enumerate the Atmaramas. My dear Sanatan, first hear the meanings of the other words, beginning with the word Muni. I shall first explain their separate meanings, then combine them. The word Muni refers to one who is thoughtful, one who is grave or silent, an ascetic, one who keeps great vows, one in the renounced order, and a saint. These are the different meanings of the word Muni. The word Nigranta refers to one who is liberated from the material knots of ignorance. It also refers to one who is devoid of all regulative principles enjoined in the Vedic literature. It also refers to one who does not have knowledge. Nigranta also refers to one who is illiterate, lowborn, misbehaved, unregulated, and devoid of respect for the Vedic literature. The word also refers to one who is a capitalist and to one who has no riches. The prefix ni may be used for a sense of ascertainment, gradation, construction, or forbidding. The word granta means riches, thesis, and composition. This is another quotation from Vishvaprakash Dictionary. The word urukrama refers to one whose krama, step, is great. The word krama means throwing the foot forward, that is, stepping. Krama also means power, trembling, a systematic method, argument, and a forcible attack by stepping forward. Thus, Vaman caused the three worlds to tremble. Report. Krama also means power. Uru means very great, and krama means to step. When the Lord Vamanadeva was offered 3 steps of land, he expanded his 3 steps by covering the entire universe. In this way, the 3 worlds trembled, and therefore, Sri Vamandev, the incarnation of Lord Vishnu, is referred to as Arukrama. Even if a learned man is able to count all the minute atoms in this material world, he still cannot count the potencies of Lord Vishnu. In the form of the Vaman incarnation, Lord Vishnu, without hindrance, captured all the planets, extending from the root of the material world up to the Satyaloka. Indeed, he caused every planetary system to tremble by the force of his steps. This is a quotation from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 2.7.40. In the Rig Veda mantras, 1.2.154.1, it is said, Om Vishnu nu viryani kam pravochan, ya prativani vimane rajamsi, yo skambayad uttaram sadhastam, vichakshamanas trehorugaya. The meaning of this verse is practically identical to that of the verse from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam quoted above. Through his all-pervasive feature, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has expanded the entire universe. He is holding and maintaining this creation by his extraordinary potency. By his conjugal potency, he maintains the planetary system known as Goloka Vrindavan. Through his 6 opulences, he maintains many Vaikuntha planets. In his gigantic form, Lord Krishna has covered the creation. He holds all the planetary systems and maintains them by his inconceivable potencies. Similarly, he is maintaining his personal abode, Goloka Vrindavan, through his conjugal love, and he is maintaining the spiritual world containing the Vaikuntha planets by his opulences. The word Arukrama indicates the Supreme Personality of Godhead who, by his external potency, has perfectly created innumerable universes. These are the different meanings of the word krama. It is used in the sense of potency, systematic arrangement, step, moving, or trembling. This is a quotation from the Vishvaprakash Dictionary. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is all-pervasive. Not only does he carry the 3 worlds by his inconceivable energy, but he maintains them also. He is also maintaining his spiritual planet, Goloka Vrindavan, by his conjugal love, and he is maintaining the Vaikuntha Lokas by his opulences. He maintains the material universes through his external energy. The material universes are perfectly situated because they are created by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The word kurvanti means they do something for others, since it is a form of the verb to do, indicating things done for others. It is used in connection with devotional service, which must be executed for the satisfaction of Krishna. This is the purport of the word kurvanti. In Sanskrit, the verb to do has 2 forms, technically called Parismaipada and Atmanepada. When things are done for one's personal satisfaction, the form is called Atmanepad. In that case, the word do in English is kurvanti in Sanskrit. When things are done for others, the verb changes to kurvanti. Thus, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu informed Sanatana Goswami that in the Atmarama verse, the verb kurvanti means that things should be done only for the satisfaction of Krishna. This is supported by the grammarian Panini. The verb is formed as Atmanepad when the work is to be done for one's own benefit, and when it is done for others, it is called Parasmaipad. Thus, the verb is formed according to whether something is done for one's self-satisfaction or for another's satisfaction. The terminations of the Atmanepad are employed when the fruit of the action accrues to the agent of verbs having an indicatory N or a swarita accent. This is a quotation from Panini's Sutras. The word hetu, cause, means that a thing is done for some motive. There can be three motives. One may act to enjoy the result personally, to achieve some material perfection, or to attain liberation. First, we take the word bhukti, material enjoyment, which is of unlimited variety. We may also take the word siddhi, perfection, which has 18 varieties. Similarly, the word mukti has 5 varieties. Causeless devotional service is unmotivated by sense enjoyment, perfection, or liberation. When one is freed from all these contaminations, he can bring Lord Krishna, who is very funny, under control. There are 10 meanings for the word bhakti, devotional service. One is sadhana bhakti, execution of devotional service according to the regulative principles, and the other 9 are varieties of prema bhakti, ecstatic love of Godhead. The same varieties of prema bhakti are rati, prema, sneha, man, pranay, raga, anurag, bhava, and mahabhava. Attraction, love, affection, adverse feelings, intimacy, attachment, subattachment, ecstatic love, and sublime ecstatic love. For the word sadhana bhakti, there is only one meaning: the execution of devotional service according to regulative principles. Next are explained the symptoms of love of Godhead, which can be divided into 9 varieties, beginning with attraction and extending up to the ecstatic love, and finally up to the topmost ecstatic love, mahabhava. The attraction to Krishna of devotees on the platform of neutrality increases up to love of Godhead, prema, and the attraction of devotees on the platform of servitorship increases to spontaneous attachment, raga. Devotees in Vrindavan who are friends of the Lord can increase their ecstatic love to the point of anurag. Parental affectionate lovers, Krishna's father and mother, can increase their love of Godhead up to the end of anurag. The gopis of Vrindavan who are attached to Krishna in conjugal love can increase their ecstatic love up to the point of mahabhava, the greatest ecstatic love. These are some of the glorious meanings of the word bhakti. Please hear the meanings of the word itam bhuta guna, which is found in the Atmarama verse. Itam bhuta has different meanings, and guna has other meanings. The word itam bhuta is transcendentally exalted because it means full of transcendental bliss. Before this transcendental bliss, the bliss derived from merging into the existence of the absolute Brahmananda becomes like a piece of straw in comparison. My Lord, my dear Lord, O Master of the universe, since I have directly seen you, my transcendental bliss has taken the shape of a great ocean. Being situated in that ocean, I now realize all other so-called happiness to be like the water contained in the hoofprint of a calf. That's from the Hari Bhakti Sudhodaya. Lord Krishna is so exalted that he is more attractive than anything else and more pleasing than anything else. He is the most sublime abode of bliss. By his own strength, he causes one to forget all other ecstasies. Pure devotional service is so sublime that one can very easily forget the happiness derived from material enjoyment, material liberation, and mystic or yogic perfection. Thus, the devotee is bound by Krishna's mercy and his uncommon power and qualities. When one is attracted to Krishna on the transcendental platform, there is no longer any logical argument on the basis of revealed scripture, nor are there considerations of such conclusions. This is his transcendental quality that is the essence of all transcendental sweetness. The word guna means quality. The qualities of Krishna are transcendentally situated and are unlimited in quantity. All the spiritual qualities are full of transcendental bliss. Krishna's transcendental qualities of opulence, sweetness, and mercy are perfect and full. As far as Krishna's affectionate leaning toward his devotees is concerned, he is so magnanimous that he can give himself to his devotees. Krishna has unlimited qualities. The devotees are attracted by his uncommon beauty, mellows, and fragrance. Thus, they are differently situated in the different transcendental mellows. Therefore, Krishna is called all-attractive. The minds of the four boy sages, Sanak, Sanatan, Sanandana, and Sanat Kumara, were attracted to the lotus feet of Krishna by the aroma of the tulsi that had been offered to the Lord. Tasyara vinda nayanasya padara vinda kinjalka mishra tulasi makaranda rayu antergata swaviradina chakara tesham Sankshobham aksharajusham api chitta tanvo. When the breeze carrying the aroma of tulsi leaves and saffron from the lotus feet of the lotus-eyed personality of Godhead entered into the nostrils and hearts, entered through the nostrils into the hearts of those sages, the Kumaras, they experienced a change in both body and mind, even though they were attached to the impersonal Brahman understanding. This is a verse from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 3:15-43. For an explanation, see Madhya Lila. Shukadev's mind was carried away by hearing the pastimes of the Lord. Shukadeva Goswami addressed Maharaj Parikshit, my dear king, although I was fully situated in the transcendental position, I was nonetheless attracted by the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Therefore I studied Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam from my father. That's from 219. Bhagavatam. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Srila Shukadeva Goswami, the son of Vyasadeva and the destroyer of all sinful reactions. Being full in self-realization and bliss, he had no material desire. Still, he was attracted by the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and out of compassion for the people, he described the transcendental historical literature called Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. This is compared to the light of the absolute truth. Lord Sri Krishna, that's from Bhagavatam 12th Canto. Lord Sri Krishna attracts the minds of all the gopis with his beautiful transcendental bodily features. Dear Krishna, we have simply surrendered ourselves as your maidservants, for we have seen your beautiful face decorated with tresses of hair, your earrings falling upon your cheeks, the nectar of your lips, and the beauty of your smile. Indeed, because we have also been embraced by your arms, which give us courage, and seen your chest, which is beautiful and broad, we have surrendered ourselves. Purport: this verse from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 10:29-39 was spoken by the gopis when they arrived near Krishna for the rasa dance on a full moon night. The attracted gopis were awestruck, and they began to speak about how they came to Krishna to enjoy the rasa dance. The queens in Dwarka, headed by Rukmini, are also attracted to Krishna simply by hearing about his transcendental beauty and qualities. O most beautiful Krishna, I have heard about your transcendental qualities from others, and therefore all my bodily miseries are relieved. If someone sees your transcendental beauty, his eyes have attained everything profitable in life. O infallible one, I have become shameless after hearing of your qualities, and I have become attracted to you. This verse, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 10:52-37, was written by Rukmini Devi in a letter to Krishna inviting him to kidnap her. Shukadeva Goswami described this to Maharaj Parikshit when the king asked him how Rukmini had been kidnapped. Rukmini had heard about Krishna's qualities from different people, and after she heard about them, she decided to accept Krishna as her husband. Everything had been arranged for her marriage to Shishupal. Therefore, she wrote a letter to Krishna, which she sent through a Brahmana and invited him to kidnap her. Lord Krishna even attracts the minds of the goddess of fortune simply by vibrating his transcendental flute. O Lord, we do not know how the serpent Kaliya attained such an opportunity to be touched by the dust of your lotus feet. For this end, the goddess of fortune performed austerities for centuries, giving up all other desires and taking austere vows. Indeed, we do not know how this serpent Kaliya got such an opportunity. It's from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 10th canto, 16th chapter. The wives of the Kaliya serpent. Krishna attracts not only the minds of the gopis and the goddesses of fortune, but the minds of all young girls in the three worlds as well. My dear Lord Krishna, where is that woman within the three worlds who would not be captivated by the rhythms of the sweet songs coming from your wonderful flute? Who would not fall down from the path of chastity in this way? Your beauty is the most sublime within the three worlds. Upon seeing your beauty, even cows, birds, animals, and trees in the forest become stunned in jubilation. Bhagavatam 10:29-40. The women of Vrindavan, who are on the level of superior guardians, are attracted to Lord Krishna maternally. The men of Vrindavan are attracted as servants, friends, and fathers. The qualities of Krishna captivate and attract everything, living and non-living. Even birds, animals, and trees are attracted to Krishna's qualities. Although the word Hari has many different meanings, two of them are foremost. One meaning is that the Lord takes away all inauspicious things from his devotee, and the second meaning is that he attracts the mind by ecstatic love for God. When the devotee somehow or other always remembers the Supreme Personality of Godhead, anywhere and everywhere, Lord Hari takes away life's four miserable conditions. The four miserable conditions are due to the four kinds of sinful activities known as 1. Pataka, 2. Urupataka, 3. Mahā-pataka, and 4. Atipataka. Preliminary sin, very great sin, greater sin, and topmost sin. However, Krishna assures the devotee, Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma sucaha. I will protect you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. The word sarva papebhya indicates four kinds of sinful activities. As soon as the devotee surrenders under Krishna's lotus feet, he is certainly relieved from all sinful activities and their results. The four basic sinful activities are summarized as illicit sex, intoxication, gambling, and meat eating. As all fuel is burned to ashes by a full-fledged fire, all sinful activities are totally erased when one engages in devotional service to me. 11th Canto. In this way, when all sinful activities are vanquished by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one gradually vanquishes all kinds of impediments on the path of devotional service, as well as the ignorance resulting from these impediments. After this, one totally manifests his original love of Godhead through devotional service in 9 different ways. hearing chanting, and so forth. When the devotee is freed from all sinful material activities, Krishna attracts his body, mind, and senses to his service. Thus, Krishna is very merciful, and his transcendental qualities are very attractive. When one's mind, senses, and body are attracted to the transcendental qualities of Hari, one gives up the four principles of material success. Thus, I have explained the chief meanings of the word Hari. Purport: the four principles of material success are 1. Religious performance, 2. Economic development, 3. Sense gratification, and 4. Liberation or merging into the impersonal effulgence of Brahman. These things do not interest the devotee. When the conjunction cha, and the adverb api, although are added to this verse, the verse can assume whatever meaning one wants to give it. The word cha can be explained in 7 ways. The word cha and is used to connect a word or sentence with a previous word or sentence, to give the sense of aggregation, to assist the meaning, to give a collective understanding, to suggest another effort or exertion, or to fulfill the meter of a verse. It is also used in the sense of certainty. This is a quotation from the Vishwa-Prakash dictionary. There are 7 chief meanings of the word api. They are as follows. The word api is used in the sense of possibility, question, doubt, censure, aggregation, appropriate application of things, and extravagance. Vishwa-Prakash. I have now described the different meanings of the 11 separate words. Now let me give the complete meaning of the shloka as it is applied in different places. The word Brahma indicates the summum bonum, the absolute truth, which is greater than all other truths. It is the original identity, and there can be nothing equal to that absolute truth. I offer my respectful obeisances to the absolute truth, the summum bonum. He is the all-pervasive, all-increasing subject matter for the great yogis. He is changeless, and he is the soul of all. Vishnu Purana. The proper meaning of the word Brahma is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is one without a second, and without whom nothing else exists. Learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth say that it is non-dual knowledge, and it is called impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and the personality of Godhead. The absolute truth, that absolute truth, without a second, is Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the supreme truth in the past, present, and future. That is the evidence of all revealed scriptures. Aham evasam evagre nanyad yat sadasat param paschadaham yadetascha yovishishyeta sosvyaham. Prior to the cosmic creation, only I exist and no phenomena exist, either gross, subtle, or primordial. After creation, only I exist in everything, and after annihilation, only I remain eternally. This verse from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 2.9.33 was spoken by Lord Krishna. For an explanation, see Adi 1.53. The word Atma, self, indicates the highest truth. Krishna, he is the all-pervasive witness of all, and he is the supreme form. Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the all-pervasive original source of everything. He is therefore the super-soul of everything. This is a quotation from the Bhavavarta Dipika, Sridhar Swami's commentary on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. There are 3 ways to attain the lotus feet of the Absolute Truth, Krishna. There is the process of philosophical speculation, the practice of mystic yoga, and the execution of devotional service. Each of these has its different characteristics. The Absolute Truth is the same, but according to the process by which one understands him, he appears in 3 forms, as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Learned transcendentalists who know the Absolute Truth say that it is non-dual knowledge and is called impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and the personality of Godhead. Although the words Brahma and Atma indicate Krishna, their direct meaning refers only to the impersonal Brahman and the Supersoul, respectively. If one follows the path of philosophical speculation, the Absolute Truth manifests himself as impersonal Brahman, and if one follows the path of mystic yoga, he manifests himself as the Supersoul. There are two kinds of devotional activity, spontaneous and regulative. By spontaneous devotional service, one attains the original personality of Godhead Krishna, and by the regulative process, one attains the expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By executing spontaneous devotional service in Vrindavan, one attains the original Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Nayam sukhapo bhagavan dehinam gopika sutta jnaninam chatma bhutanam yata bhakti matam iha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, the son of Mother Jashoda, is accessible to those devotees engaged in spontaneous loving service. But he is not as easily accessible to mental speculators, to those striving for self-realization by severe austerities and penances, or to those who consider the body the same as the self. That's Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 10.9.21. That's Shukadeva. By executing regulative devotional service, one becomes an associate of Narayan and attains the Vaikuntha Lokas, the spiritual planets in the spiritual sky. Those who discuss the activities of Lord Krishna are on the highest platform of devotional service, and they evince, that's a nice word, look it up, evince the symptoms of tears in the eyes and bodily jubilation. Such persons discharge devotional service to Krishna without practicing the rules and regulations of the mystic yoga system. They possess all spiritual qualities, and they are elevated to the Vaikuntha planets, which exist above us. Just so you know, it's that way. Events. So just so you know, we're looking up the word events. Those who discuss the activities of Lord Krishna are on the highest platform of devotional service, and they evince the symptoms of tears in the eyes and bodily jubilation by discussing Krishna. Okay, we've got a couple of researches.
Evince means disprove, confute, from French évincer, from Latin evincere, conquer, overcome, subdue, vanquish, prevail over, elicit by argument, prove.
Prove. It's from Latin?
Yes, from Latin evincere, from assimilated form of ex, which means out, plus vencere, which means to overcome.
Different translation? Spell E-V-I-N-C-E. Events. So tell us more about that. Take the mic. Did you spell yours E-V-I-N-C-E? Okay. Go ahead.
This one, just from the Kindle, New Oxford American Dictionary says, formal definition is to reveal the presence of, in parentheses, a quality or feeling.
Yeah, that's the context here. Although obviously it has a rich past, the word events. But you can use it in a sentence sometime today during conversation in order to evince the reaction of the next of the person you're speaking to interlocutor. This is a quotation from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 3:15-25. In this verse, Lord Brahma is speaking to all the demigods who feared the two asuras in Diti's womb. Lord Brahma described the Kumara's visit to Vaikuntha, and this was again explained by Maitreya, the friend of Vyasadeva, when he gave instructions to Vidura. The devotees are divided into three categories: akama, desireless; moksha kama, desiring liberation, and sarva-kama, desiring material perfection. One who is actually intelligent, although he may be a devotee, free from material desires, a karmi desiring all kinds of material facilities, or a jnani desiring liberation, should seriously engage in bhakti yoga for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is a quotation from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 2.3.10. The meaning of the word udaradi is buddhiman, intelligent or considerate. Because of this, even for one's own sense gratification, one engages in the devotional service of Krishna. The other processes cannot yield results unless they are associated with devotional service. Devotional service, however, is so strong and independent that it can give one all the desired results. With the exception of devotional service, all the methods of self-realization are like the nipples on the neck of a goat. Therefore, an intelligent person adopts only devotional service, giving up all other processes of self-realization. Without devotional service, other methods for self-realization and spiritual life are useless. Other methods cannot produce good results at any time, and therefore they are compared to the nipples on the neck of a goat. These nipples cannot produce milk, although it may appear that they can. And an intelligent person cannot understand that only devotional service can elevate one to the transcendental position. O best among the Bharatas, Arjuna, 4 kinds of pious men render devotional service unto me: the distressed, the desire of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the Absolute. This is a quotation from the Bhagavad-gītā 7.16. The word sukritina is very important in this verse. Su means auspicious and kriti means meritorious or regulated. Unless one follows the regulative principles of religious life, human life is no different from animal life. Religious life means following the principles of varna and ashrama. In the Vishnu Purana it is said, Varnashrama charavata purushena parapuman Vishnu aradyate panta nanyata toshakaranam. According to religious life, society is divided into 4 divisions: Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. And the 4 spiritual divisions: Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. One needs to be trained to become a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra, just as one is trained to become an engineer, doctor, or lawyer. Those who are properly trained can be considered human beings. If one is not trained socially and spiritually, that is, if one is uneducated and unregulated, his life is on the animal platform. Among animals, there is no question of spiritual advancement. Spiritual life can be attained by proper training, either by following the principles of varna and ashrama, or by being directly trained in the bhakti school by the methods of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. Without being trained, one cannot be sukriti, auspicious. In this verse, Krishna says that people approach him when in distress, in need of money, or when actually inquisitive to understand the Supreme Being, or the original source of everything. Some people approach him in the pursuit of knowledge of the Absolute Truth, and others approach him when they are distressed, like the devotee Gajendra. Others are inquisitive, like the great sages headed by Sanak, and others need money, like Dhruva Maharaj. Shukadeva Goswami approached the Lord when he pursued knowledge. All these great personalities thus took the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Materialistic devotees take to devotional service and worship Krishna when they are distressed or in need of money. Those who are actually inquisitive to understand the supreme source of everything and those who are in search of knowledge are called transcendentalists, for they desire liberation from all material contamination. Because they have a pious background, all 4 types of people are to be considered greatly fortunate. Such people gradually give up material desires and become pure devotees. One is elevated to the platform of devotional life by the mercy of a Vaishnava, the bona fide spiritual master, and the special mercy of Krishna. On that platform, one gives up all material desires and the association of unwanted people. Thus, one is elevated to the platform of pure devotional service. The intelligent who have understood the Supreme Lord in the association of pure devotees have become free from bad materialistic association, can never avoid hearing the glories of the Lord, even though they have heard them only once. I'll say that again. The intelligent who have understood the Supreme Lord in the association of pure devotees and have become free from bad materialistic association can never avoid hearing the glories of the Lord, even though they have heard them only once. Would you like to hear the purport to that?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a verse from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 1.10.11. All the members of the Kuru dynasty offered respect when Krishna was leaving Hastinapur after the battle of Kurukshetra. Krishna was going to his own kingdom, and all the members of the Kuru dynasty were overwhelmed by his departure. This verse was spoken in that connection by Shukadeva Goswami. A pure devotee becomes attached to Krishna by hearing the Lord's glories. The Lord's glories and the Lord himself are identical. One has to be qualified to understand this absolute truth. Therefore, one should be given a chance to associate with a pure devotee. Our Krishna consciousness movement is meant for this purpose. We want to create pure devotees so that other people will benefit by their association. In this way, the number of pure devotees increases. Professional preachers cannot create pure devotees. There are many professional preachers of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam who read this work to earn their livelihood. However, they cannot convert materialistic people into devotional service. Only a pure devotee can convert others to pure devotional service. It is therefore important for all the preachers in our Krishna conscious movement to first become pure devotees and follow the regulative principles, refraining from illicit sex, meat eating, and gambling and intoxication. They should regularly chant the Hare Kṛṣṇa mahā-mantra on their beads, follow the devotional process, rise early in the morning, attend maṅgala-ārati, and recite Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and the Bhagavad-gītā regularly. In this way, one can become purified and free from all material contamination. Sarvapariva nirmuktam tapratpena nirmalam rishikena hrishikesha sevanam bhaktiruchate. Bhakti or devotional service means engaging all one's senses in the service of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the master of all the senses. When the spirit soul renders service unto the Supreme, there are two side effects. One is freed from all material designations, and one's senses are purified simply by being employed in the service of the Lord. To make a show of devotional service will not help one. One must be a pure devotee following the devotional process. Then one can convert others to devotional service. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu practiced devotional service and preached mahā-mantra, bhakti karila prachar. If one preacher behaves properly in devotional service, he will be able to convert others. Otherwise, his preaching will have no effect. Apani achari bhakti karila prachar. Dusanga kaye kaitava atma manshana. Krishna Krishna bhakti vinu anya kamana. Cheating oneself and cheating others is called kaitava. Associating with those who cheat in this way is called dusanga, bad association. Those who desire things other than Krishna's service are also called dusanga, bad association. We'll take a couple of reflections or questions. Yes, Mahendra Prabhu.
What would mean cheating oneself?
What does it mean to cheat oneself? Going back to the last verse, cheating oneself and cheating others is called kaitava. Well, it's pretty regularly done. People who, in the context of this, they subscribe to some process that's not authorized. They jump on a bandwagon somewhere and get involved in something without verifying its authenticity. And self-delusion is really the mainstay of the material world. Everyone wants to believe something or give up their own discrimination, let other people direct their lives, and that therefore they cheat themselves. Of course, when one comes to a siddhanta and understands the proper authoritative source, one can then give oneself fully to that. But siddhanta bole chitanakara alashi ha hoite krishna loge sudrid manash. Kaviraj Goswami says, you should not be lazy about it, because you'll cheat yourself. If you come to siddhanta and have a clear idea what the authoritative source is, then you can be fully fixed in that. Otherwise, you're cheated. Yes, Vijay Prabhu.
We read how the material world is maintained by the external energy. Vaikuntha is maintained by opulence, and Goloka Vrindavan is maintained by conjugal love. Can you maybe say something about that?
Well, the Hladini Shakti is there, and then there's the Bhararanga Shakti, and then in Vaikuntha, that Shakti, it just describes the three moods of the spiritual world. Vaikuntha, which is full of opulence, Narayan, and the pervasive feeling in Goloka is without opulence. What is it? It's the loving relationships that Krishna has, the loving relationship that Krishna has with Radharani and with all the devotees. It defines it. So those are potencies. Every realm is defined by Krishna's potencies. Prabhu?
I was amazed with yesterday's reading and today's reading as to after Krishna's departure, when they are coming again back. And it's very amazing to experience. Sometimes Mahaprabhu is taking Radharani's mood, saying Krishna is funny, while discussing with Sanatan Goswami, bringing in context of all the manjaris from the past and then leaving traces for us. And Paritranaye Sadhunam, trying to leave the text so that again we are reclaimed back to him. So the context of taking from where they left and then bringing in these conversations and leaving traces again as a devotee to reclaim us back to him. With that lens, the conversations becomes of their mercy, so that when we get in closer to them, again we get all the right things of getting closer to them. That was an observation.
Yeah, from continuously hearing, you're seeing how it all comes together.
Yeah, they are the ones who can tell, because they are the ones who are serving Krishna. And they're leaving all the right information for us to pick it up and get closer to them and follow it.
Highly effective hearing from those who are already fully experienced and liberated. Nicely put. Okay, Mukaravind, we have several from the Outside People's Party. Whoever has the microphone, go ahead.
Guru Maharaj, the last chapter was such a hit, like one after another, the process of devotional service. Like it's hard to keep the book down, and especially so many verses that you had been emphasizing in our ISV while you're teaching. So it was like a home to read all the chapter together. And one particular purport caught my attention was 118, where Prabhupada such a I don't think so more than this direct he can say that by thoroughly studying a limited number of books one can understand the philosophy. And one thing that I didn't understood in that great purport is that one should not partially study a book just to pose oneself as a great scholar by being able to refer to scriptures. So this question comes because sometimes we like Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu for that matter, like I don't know everything about that, but I know some verses of that that is related to the Siddhant. So what this Anartha Prabhupada is talking about, and if you could
Better get cracking. Yeah, there's only a few books to thoroughly go through. And with your brain power, you can easily do it. So, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad-gītā, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And if you become a PhD in those, you're well situated. You were asking what to do about it?
Oh, I see. So Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu means nectar of devotion, the one that Prabhupada gave. We can just
Well, Prabhupada gave a summary of it because he summarized a few things because he didn't know how much time he had. I mean, it's one of the reasons. He stopped translating the Bhagavatam at the third canto and he put his full attention to the Krishna book, which saved the movement. And that was because the all-important 10th canto, he wasn't sure because he was in poor health. He already had several heart attacks. And, he's thinking, what happens to my legacy literary legacy if I stop at the third canto and don't do the 10th canto? So he did the Krishna book, which is the 10th canto, obviously. And then he wanted to do the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is an onerous task to translate that whole thing. He started. In fact, the new version that's coming out of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu shows that Prabhupada had started translating it at the way he was doing the Bhagavatam. And in the first chapter, we have Prabhupada's original commentary that he did for that book, but then he switched to doing it as a summary. So he had to move on with the Bhagavatam, but how could he go without the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu as the nectar of devotion? So he covered the basics. We have 5 processes out of 64. Out of all the Dhams in the world, we've got Jagannath Puri, Vrindavan, and Mayapur. And out of all the Shastras, we have Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and Bhagavad-gītā. Keep it simple and go deeply within those, rather than trying to become a big shot and figure out a few fancy moves here and there. Better to become really deeply ensconced in the main text, the ones that we have already. Okay, Mataji, it's your turn. Right behind you, right? And then we have Sri Ram, I think, just after.
Hare Kṛṣṇa Maharaj. The Outside People's Party didn't have a chance to speak last night. So
You should have had a demonstration or something.
Yeah, you should have signed a petition. Anyway, so please excuse me, but I want to go back to chapter 22 because a couple of weeks ago I posed that question about whether one's rasa is inherent within oneself, and we came across these verses. Why I was having that question is because of these verses in chapter 22, text 150. It says, when one becomes attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead according to one's natural inclination to love Him. This is the word that captured my attention, this natural inclination. And it's repeated in text 155, this natural inclination. And then in text 161, it says, according to one's choice. Going for, because it's speaking about the 5 rasas. So because he said, what's the evidence? So it's these particular verses that created that question in my mind.
I have another one for you that you'll like. In the Adi Leela, if you'll look this up.
Yeah.
Somebody look it up. Adi Leela, chapter 4, text number 34.
Yeah.
And look at the penultimate paragraph in that. And it says something similar there about, here, I'll read it. I hit this. What am I supposed to, how am I opening? This is not an iPhone, so I have no idea what I should touch and what I shouldn't. Okay, thank you. So here we have 434 in the Adi Leela, if that's what this is. And Prabhupada says, first I'm going to the paragraph says, incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead appear in all the species of life, although this is inconceivable to the human brain. The Lord's pastimes are differentiated according to the appreciating capacity of the different types of bodies of the living entities. The Supreme Lord bestows the most merciful benediction upon human society when he appears in his human form. It is then that humanity gets the opportunity to engage in different kinds of eternal service to the Lord. Special natural appreciation of the descriptions of a particular pastime of Godhead indicates the constitutional position of a living entity. Adoration, servitorship, friendship, parental affection, and conjugal love are the 5 primary relationships with Krishna. The highest perfectional stage of the conjugal relationship, enriched by many sentiments, gives the maximum relishable mellow to the devotee. And so the idea of choosing, we talked about a little bit before about how Krishna and the living entity, Krishna gives some impetus to the devotee, who then has predisposition to a certain devotee who's performing devotional service to Krishna in Vrindavan. It comes into his mind and intelligence, that they're a natural appreciation. And as is explained in the Bhakti-rasamrita Sindhu, that devotee then has a sense that this is my natural appreciation. But it's also explained that it simultaneously Krishna's introduces that mood or idea to the devotee. So if a choice comes, and it's also orchestrated by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But in any case, it's natural appreciation. So that's there, and it happens, whatever one's conclusion is about the position of the soul, it's the way of awakening to one's relationship with Krishna takes place through the same kind of sadhana, which is to hear and chant. All of the Gaudiya Vaishnava acharyas agree on that, and that they eschew the idea of Siddha Pranali, of receiving it from somebody prematurely. Bhaktivinoda Thakur especially says in one of his bhajans, and so did Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, and so did Prabhupada, that prematurely receiving some external suggestion from somebody about one's rasa is not a savory activity. It's premature. But hearing and chanting, which is the suggestion by Rupa Goswami, Tannama Rupa Charitari Sukirtanano Smrityo Kramena Rasana Manasini Yoja Tishtan Raje Tananuragi Jananugram Kalam na yada kilamiti upadesha saram. If you're engaged in proper hearing and chanting, then you'll naturally come to have that appreciation for a particular resident of Vrindavan. I don't know if I'm saying stuff we already talked about before, but I do appreciate that those things came up. They're very important. And I mean, personally, I just feel like it's really encouraging, because we're in the process. that brings one to that natural appreciation. And when it comes, who can deny it? If it's coming from Krishna and we have a natural appreciation, then that's pretty good. Because if it was unnatural, it wouldn't last. And if it's natural, somehow or other, however it comes, it's there and it's real and it's something that will happen in due course of time.
So if I can just say in simple words, if I say, because of hearing, I might develop a particular attraction to serve Krishna in a particular way, and Krishna reciprocates that attraction or that desire by strengthening my mind and intelligence and encouraging in a particular rasa. Would that be correct to say like that?
It is correct, and it's confirmed by Krishna in the Bhagavad-gītā, where he says, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. That doesn't just mean, the initial stage when it dawns on us that, hey, maybe I should bail on the material world and take shelter of Krishna. It's all the way along. Krishna is enlivening us from within the heart, so he can also and will also reveal to us and encourage us. Prachodayat, that's in your Gayatri mantras. He's encouraging us how to deepen our relationship with us. That's what he wants. That's why we exist, is to have that loving relationship with Krishna for his enjoyment. Because what's the use of being the Supreme Personality of Godhead unless you have an unlimited people appreciating you? They're all if you're God and you're unlimited, you have to have unlimited appreciators in ever-increasing quantity. That's why doing Sankirtan increases the pleasure of the Lord, because we go out and we bring more souls back in. It's like, here's another appreciator. Get in there. And it increases Krishna's bliss eternally and unlimitedly.
Right.
And so, he's directing our wanderings in the material world, and then when we come to devotional service, Ye bhajanti tumam bhaktyam maite teshu chapyaham. He takes over our life and says, here, let's deepen our relationship.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you.
I've understood it better. Thank you for your patience and explanation.
That's all we can do, is understand it better, because it's practically inconceivable. Did Sri Ram get a chance? I saw his hand up.
I was appreciating the fact that so many things mentioned about the results of devotional service. So much emphasis gave on different aspects, like what happens if you do devotional service. I was taking those verses.
Can you give an example?
Yeah.
And speak right into that mic, because it sounds distant.
Even the verse Sarvapade Vinirmuktam says that two effects comes out. One is freed from material designations. One senses are getting purified. There's also there's a goats having the milk things. If you don't do devotional service, there's no effect of it.
We talked about that maybe around the first day we were here, about can you merge success? Can you do anything successfully, including merge without the element of devotional service? And can't do anything. Yes. It's so scientific and encouraging, isn't it?
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Sri Ram Prabhu. Nitya Tarangani, you have an update and report. Right?
Yes, Guru Maharaj. We have 13 people watching online on YouTube.
Hare.
And there are questions from last night.
Okay, let's try. The bell hasn't rung.
Okay. The first question is from Apara Gaurangi Mataji. The sages pointed out that association with a devotee for even less than a second is beyond comparison to Vedic rituals and sacrifices, etc. What association is being referred here?
Association of sadhus, those who are devotees of Krishna. Because you could say, okay, has to be a pure devotee. Well, it could also be somebody who's following a pure devotee, because they're also pure devotees. How else did Jamuna and Shyamasundar and Gurudas and, help me out here, Malati, Malati, Shyamasundar, Gurudas, and Mukunda Jamuna, they went all over, and they converted people to pure devotional service by their association. And so if one's following a pure devotee and representing, then when people come in contact, Prabhupada says this, these quotes are there about it's the same vibration. Because if you're following a pure devotee, then the vibration you're making, he said, it's the same thing. You're carrying it forward. So association with anybody in the line of pure devotional service, if you get that association, then it's transformational.
Next one is from Preeti Purna Mataji. She has a comment and a question. Hare Kṛṣṇa Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for the nectar you are delivering to us. It brings happiness and peace without trying to make any extra effort for achieving it. Even my toddler is experiencing the bliss hearing Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita.
That's a beautiful scene. The toddler is listening to Chaitanya. Is there a question?
Yes.
Okay.
Her question is, what is the position of Durvasa Muni? We hear that he could even go to Lord Narayan for help when Sudarshan Chakra was following him, as he had troubled Ambarish Maharaj. So how does such a personality who has access to Vaikuntha gets disturbed and angry very easily and also offend a devotee?
He has, he's like an expansion of Rudra. And so he has this Rudra energy, this anger energy. I have a little essay on Durvasa Muni. I gave a talk on him one time. And so I can read that to you or send it to you later. He's very interesting kind of character. On one side, he's considered to be an exalted personality. He's even in the Gopal Tampani Upanishad, he's one of the characters in Vrindavan that the gopis go to. And elsewhere you find him as this sort of scary personality who shows up and is like, feed me, And it's mentioned in the article about how much he can eat too, because it's not like he just wants a little morsel. I don't remember a lot of the details, but I did compile something. So if somebody can remind me, I can send her that. Just in case the bell rings. Okay, go ahead. Is there anything else?
Yes, last question. This is from Apara Gaurangi Mataji. She is referring to a text, 124. It says, present what is very dear to oneself to the deity. How to reconcile it with offering the deity what is dear to the deity?
Well, I mean, Krishna himself says, Yat koroshya dashnashya juhosi dadasya yat tapasyasi konteya tat kurishramararpanam. He said, whatever you do, whatever you offer and give away, you should do it as an offering to me. And the idea of offering something dear to Krishna, it's the opposite of what Prabhupada said was rascaldom, and he gave the example of Gopal Ban. And Gopal Ban was such a miser, he never offered anything to God, so his friends were always criticizing him. And one day, walking home from the field where he had collected a huge quantity of grains, a big windstorm came and it started blowing the grains away that he had collected. And he goes, well, I offer that to God. And so it was already lost, and therefore he offered it. So even while something's dear to one should offer it at that point, not the leftovers, not the stuff that broke already or that already got taken, and you go like, oh yeah, that was meant for Krishna. But you should offer those things that are especially dear to you, like your family. Manasa deho geho yo kichimur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, I offer my mind and my body, my family, and even my soul. He said, even the soul doesn't belong to me. I think I'm the Atma, so I'm me, and that's it. And I said, I offer myself to you too. What's more dear to a person than his own self? And if you say, I offer myself to Krishna, then that's offering what's most dear. So that's what we do. And of course, the person never loses, because based on what Shukadeva says at the end of the 14th chapter of the 10th canto, Atmanam Akilatmanam, that Krishna is the soul of our soul. So he says, imagine how dear we are to ourselves. You can know that because when you're in the bodily conception of life, the most dear thing is your body, because you think this is myself. But then when you understand you're the soul, then the soul becomes most dear. But then Atmanam Akilat, but imagine the soul of your soul, how dear Krishna is. And then if you offer your body, your mind, and your very self to Krishna, then you're offering what's most dear. Now, ask not for whom the bell has tolled. It has tolled for thee. You always come on the cusp right after the bell rang. Just start when we come back. Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Shri Panchatattva, if you so desire, please let us hear and chant continually until we develop a natural appreciation for everything about you and our relationship with you. Thank you for considering our request. Om Tat Sat. Everyone agrees with this prayer in heart, whole and in part. Please say Hare Kṛṣṇa. Vanchakalptarishta kripasinave vachapatitanam pavanibhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. We'll see everybody back here at 10:59. We're inching towards our goal. We're a little behind. We'll try to catch up some, and we might make it by tomorrow if we're really lucky. We may stay up all night.